Hello, it is Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday crossword today, which means we're going to be solving a mid-week, mid-difficulty crossword, and there's a theme, of course. And this midweek, mid-difficulty themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by who has it been brought to us by? Noah Bezanson, Alan Blunder, Mitchell Turek, and as always, the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the four of them. They are, of course, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, which means they directly support this channel. They bring us this series every day, and I'm very grateful to them for that. Thanks to those four. Thanks to everybody who's a patron at any level. I really do appreciate it, and if you'd like to contribute to the channel, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field, and there, of course, you'll find all of the bonus videos available to patrons, as well as for benefactors, the Let's Check the Crosses official mug. Thanks to those four. Thanks to everybody who's a patron at any level. I really do appreciate it. Thanks also if you've subscribed to the channel on YouTube. That's a big help. You could also comment on the videos and like them. Those things are all helpful. Thanks if you've done them. And finally, there's the Daily Solve Discord chat server, which is a nice friendly chat community that you can join via a description field link. Check it out as well. And now let's get on to today's puzzle constructed by the duo of Chloe Reverie and Alyssa Revness, each of whom has constructed a small handful of puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. It'll have a theme. Let's find out what it is, and let's start solving. Podcasters' needs, probably mics, microphones, of which I have one in front of my face as we speak, as I speak anyway. It's catching a mitt, maybe, as in a baseball mitt. I think that's probably the answer. Took me a moment, but I landed on it, I think. Not sure yet. Not sure yet. I may solve this crossword. I'm fairly confident, I have to admit. Apple with multiple cores. Right, that's a clever clue. An iMac. I haven't seen this particular pun used in a crossword before, so obviously this is referring to apples, the fruit, having a core, but also to Apple computers having processors with multiple cores. That's very clever. Something to make or break. You could make a case. In other words, you could plead your case. You could explain, justify yourself, or you could break a case. I think if you're, investigating it as a detective or something like that, you could find your way through it, perhaps. Job for a coxswain with rowdy rowers. A coxswain. I think this is pronounced, actually. Sorry. I'm not sure what the answer is, though, and it's part of the theme. Magic that works, per Vonnegut. This is obviously Kurt Vonnegut, the author. What would this be? Magic that works. Oh, science. Okay. There we go. Straightforwardly enough. There we go. Oh, this doesn't look very good, does it? What's tolerated by everybody? Oh, maybe this isn't case, and that's surprising. I thought that worked. Although I guess you don't say break a case, you say crack a case. Yeah, so that was an inexpert inference on my part. So I think this is probably is it type A or type O? What's the universal blood type? I don't remember. I think it might be type O. I'm not going to put that in for now, but I think that is the category of thing we're looking for here. Blood type tolerated by every body, every sort of human body. Oh, you make camp or break camp. There we go. So, right, if you make camp, you sort of set up, but if you break camp, you sort of flee, right? That's what that means. So then what's going on with these rowdy rowers? Taming. Is it taming of the shrew? Taming of the crew, it is, yes. Okay, it is a pun on taming of the shrew, but we're rhyming, and it's taming of the crew. So I wonder if we'll be doing that throughout. Presumably we will be taking titles and then rhyming them for punny answers. Okay, so cozy corner, a nook, as in a breakfast nook or something. And there we go, this is indeed typo, as expected, once I thought about it for a moment. Runner on the ground, a rug. So a runner could be is a type of rug, usually a sort of thin one that would go along a hallway or something. And then meaty pasta sauce could be a ragu. Marine leader, ultramarine. So here we go, the color, the blue color, ultramarine. And then Eurasian river, Ural. There we go. Like an excited crowd, a roar. The crowd is roaring. They're pleased. Social blunder could be a gaffe, a bit of a faux pas. Natural hairstyles could be afros. And romantic attractions slangily with the hots. You have the hots for someone, romantic attraction. Small ice cream order could be 1 scoop. There we go. Ad hoc, so you sort of do something on a, I don't know, sort of improvised or ersatz basis, ad hoc. Hey, by the way, oh, hey, by the way, oh, I can't actually think what this is. I'm sure it'll be very obvious when it goes in. To abstain from something would be to not do it, I think, probably. I mean, this does work. I'm just trying to think if there are other possibilities, but can't think of them offhand. Never mind what I just said. Strike that. There we go. Strike that. Remove it from the record. One of the Astairs. Oh, Adele Astaire? Is that right? Hey, by the way. Oh, say. Is that it? Is that what we're looking for? Caterwauls, yowls, so sort of loud cry, yell, scream, caterwaul, yowl. Poorly, if you're sort of feeling poorly or feeling ill, or maybe you did something poorly, you did it ill, I guess you could sort of say. One of these, I think this is Adele Astaire, so must be related to Fred Astaire, and the name is familiar, but I couldn't give you a sort of biography here, even a brief one. Review for a so-so bakery. No great cakes. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, so it isn't necessarily titles it's just sort of phrases that we're modifying here. So no great shakes would be the original phrase. We're modifying it in a rhyming sort of way to no great cakes, which you might say about a so-so bakery. That's probably been a review headline on TripAdvisor or something. Hype up. To amp up, maybe. There we go. You've got some nerve, somebody might irritatedly say to you. Is irritatedly a valid adverb? I don't know. 2007 Michael Moore documentary about 2007 Michael Moore documentary about healthcare. Sicko. I remember that. Remember that being released. I don't remember if I saw it, but I do remember it. I do remember it coming out. Its name means waterless place in Mongolian. Oh, Gobi is in the Gobi Desert. Oh, that's interesting. That makes a lot of sense. It's amazing how many names of things can be traced back to incredibly simple descriptions in their original source language. It's not that surprising, but it's interesting given that often we're sort of many, many generations removed from them, so we don't think of them in that prosaic way. And how many sort of names of ethnic groups ultimately translate back to just things like people or us or, very, very kind of run-of-the-mill things of that nature. Anyway, it's often in stock. A bone, right? You could make stock, obviously, from bones, animal bones. Melody, a tune is a melody. To choose a course is to opt in, maybe, to it. Buds go in them. Buds go in them. I'm not sure what we're looking for here. Obviously, buds has several meanings, but I'm not sure. I can't quite infer which one this is. Yes in Japanese. Hai would be yes in Japanese. I'm sure that was awful pronunciation. I'm sorry. Buds go in. Oh, maybe opt in isn't wrong. Opt to choose a choice to opt to do something? I don't know. Not sure yet. Dance floor, flourish. A dip, maybe. Oh, chose a course. I think I misread this entirely. Opted, it's chose a course as in yesterday. You opted to do something. There we go. Buds go in them. Oh, earbuds. Okay, there we go. That is one of many meanings of buds. To complain querulously could be to, well, I was going to say harp, but it could be carp. I sort of feel harp and carp are both sort of, they're very similar. They're not quite the same, but I feel similar enough that they could go here. Let's come back to it. Number of graduates in the first class at West Point. All right, this is the U.S. Military Academy. Must have been 2. That's something. Something to follow in cards. Not quite sure I see what we're looking for here. Dorothy Parker quality. Wit. She was extremely renowned, rightfully so, for her wit. If so, then, in that case, there we go. Poetic frequency. Oft. So frequency could be often. Well, an example of a frequency could be often as something that, a high frequency. High frequency. And then a poetic way to say often would be oft. Utmost could be the nth, maybe, to the utmost degree, to the nth degree. It's often used that way idiomatically in English to refer to a high degree of something, even though mathematically it need not. Writer Umberto Eco, the great academic semiotician and novelist. I have read all of his fiction and very, very little of his academic writing, which I think would be probably in many cases above my head. He was a medieval expert and semiotician. But anyway, I absolutely love his novels. And I would say it's really worth reading The Name of the Rose if you were going to read one Umberto Eco novel. It is absolutely great. Anyway, person who assigns the order of opening presents. A gift cop? Oh, is it gift shop? Is that the original phrase? I'm not quite sure about this one. I think that's probably right. A gift cop assigns the order of opening presents, and that bit I'm pretty sure about. It's just the source phrase. I think it's probably gift shop. Oh. It is. These all replace SH with C. That's much better. Okay, I just thought it was generally rhyming. But no, this is a very specific rule, and that makes it a better theme as far as I'm concerned. Because the specificity, it makes it more fun when you see the rule. It also is a more impressive feat of setting because the constructors have kept themselves to a fixed target, basically, rather than moving the goalposts. Two slightly mixed metaphors there. But anyway, taming of the shrew becomes taming of the crew. No great shakes becomes no great cakes. And gift shop becomes gift cop. Great. Good. Figure that one out. Norse protector of humankind would be Thor, the Norse god Thor. Checkbox of last resort would be other. Right, okay, if you don't agree or believe the other answers to be correct, you choose other. Something to follow in cards. Oh, follow suit. Right, okay, so in various card games, you would try and match suit to what was played before you. Okay, there we go. Kyrgyzstan mountain range, the Aral Mountains. And then they're raised in Chai Town. Oh, no, this isn't Aral, sorry. What is it? Because this will be L's, elevated trains in Chicago, famously. So what's this one? Less sharp as footage, grainier footage. No, less sharp. It isn't grainier. What is it? I don't know. What about this one? Part of as a plot. A plot of land, I assume this means, but I'm not quite seeing what it is. Extremist sects could be... I don't know that one either. Animal whose brain has the most gray matter of any mammal. Interesting. Is it an orca? I wouldn't have known that off the top of my head, but it looks correct based on... You do hear that they're intelligent, so that's probably the case. Extremist sects. What is this one? Oh, cults. A cult could be an extremist sect. There we go. Okay. A sort of pseudo-religious organization, potentially. Here we have Upsy Daisy. And, oh, this must be carp, based on this being an L. I can't imagine it'll be an H. So what is the clue? Found innocent. Oh, you cleared someone of wrongdoing. You found them innocent. There we go. There we go. And completes a superhero transformation. Oh, something about a cape coming from shape. So puts on I don't know, maybe that's not right. Puts, oh, I don't know. Sorry. I thought I was going to just cruise right to the answer, but I haven't done. Labor activist Chavez, Cesar Chavez, there we go. Famously in California. And nary a soul... No one? Less sharp as footage. Oh, no, I just misspelled grainier. Oh, that's embarrassing. What did I say? Gran, probably. I missed the I from grain, I suspect. Whoops. Well, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Does that give me anything else? Part of as a plot. Classical cover-ups. Interesting. What is, oh, togas. Classical as in the classical world. There we go. As in, ancient Rome, for instance. Okay. And then chilling could be, if something's chilling, it could literally be on ice. Here we have a Brazilian berry. It's been a while. I think it's maybe been a couple of months since we've had the official superfood of the New York Times crossword, the acai berry. There we go. OSS successor. So this was the organization that preceded I think it's the Office of Strategic Services, preceded the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency in the U.S. So there we go. Word repeated in a 1956 Doris Day single. Oh, sera. So this is que sera, sera, whatever will be. Goes the song. Okay. Preschool teacher's mantra, or a hint to the answers to the starred clues. Preschool teacher's mantra. Oh, I can't think what it is. Is this definitely Upsy Daisy spelled this way? I just want to make sure because this is a slightly unusual collection of letters. Island nature whose currency is the tala. Island, I mean, it must be Samoa based on this essay. I wish I just knew that for sure as a fact, but I cannot claim that I do. But it must be the answer. Blank 18, novel by Leon Uris. I don't know. It must start with an M. I wonder if I'll recognize it when I see it, but I don't currently. Exclusively. Okay, well, exclusively is only. That works. And then Wrinkles in Time. Question mark. I mean, it's a pun of some sort. I can't think what it is. Is this Cyrano? I keep wanting this. Sorry, when I saw this before, CYR, I wanted it to be Cyrano, as in Cyrano de Bergerac. I don't know why that would be part of a preschool teacher's mantra, but then there's an N, which again looks like it. It's obviously not the case, but it's all I can see when I see it. What about this? She on the Seine. So this is, on the Seine simply means in France. In this case, it's using a geographical feature, a river to refer to a place, and therefore its language. And there we go. L is she in French. Still don't see this. Male 18? I'm not sure. Brighter times. I know it's not that, because brighter times are days as opposed to nights. And wrinkles in time. Ages? As in, sort of wrinkles on one's skin? I don't quite get this. Sorry. Although G would be a good ending, following an N. Wow, I'm just not quite getting this. To have a nibble of something would be to taste it. An expression that might accompany a mustache twirl could be a sneer. Maybe you could be some sort of supervillain sneering and twirling your mustache. Its ways are numbered abbreviation, a route. So this would be, in this case, referring probably to the interstate highway system in the U.S., for instance. Numbered highways. And then Frome of fiction, Ethan Frome, famous figure from fiction. And then, what? Sorry, I really want to know what this is. Sharing. Oh, sharing is caring. This is not Upsy. Okay, it's Upsa, I suppose. Upsa Daisy. Is that actually what it is? And it just sort of, sometimes when you say it, it sounds like Upsy Daisy. It must be. So sharing is caring. There we go. So I see a hint to the answers to the starred clues. Yes, there we go. Sharing is caring. In some sort of linguistically punny way, we're saying these phrases are equivalent because the SH can transmogrify into a C, as indeed it does 4 times throughout the grid prior to this. So very nice. A nice sort of indirect revealer in a way. It doesn't literally declare what's happening with the puzzles as revealers sometimes do, but it does sort of provide a hint to it, as the clue says. Anyway, tales of daring could be jests, maybe from the French, as in, I don't know, beau geste or something. And others too numerous to mention, etc. So just you put it on the end of a list. And I assume from this we get words like gesture, as in a gallant gesture or daring gesture, that kind of thing. Anyway, let's go back to this. Completes a superhero transformation. Oh, gets into cape. Okay. No wonder I didn't immediately jump to that. It's not, you wouldn't really say gets into cape ordinarily. I mean, right? It's obviously it's a bit of a punny thing, which is totally, I think, 100% fair for a theme answer in a crossword like this. But yes, I'm not surprised I didn't immediately leap to that as an answer. And it obviously derives from the phrase gets into shape, which is a perfectly ordinary English idiomatic phrase. And then we'll complete the puzzle. Here we have part of as a plot. It wasn't a plot of land. It was a plot as in a machination, a scheme, a ploy or a ruse. So part of as a plot when you're in on the plot. And then the ally mountain range. Okay, that one was not as familiar to me. So let's put that in, and there it is. That was the Wednesday crossword. Very nice theme here. Taming of the shrew becomes taming of the crew. No great shakes becomes no great cakes. Wait, am I missing one? Oh, yes. Gift shop becomes gift cop, and gets into shape becomes gets into cape. All of these are sort of obliquely explained by the phrase sharing is caring, by which we transmogrify an SH sound into a C. Very good. Very nice theme. Simple theme, but it was slightly more nuanced than it initially appeared when I thought it was simply rhyming going on. But it's nice that they all do rhyme. The rhyme is maintained, and the operation that is performed is consistent from answer to answer. Very nice. Well done to the duo of Chloe Reverie and Alyssa Revness. Well done to them. And that was the Wednesday crossword. Hope you enjoyed it. And now I will move right on to the clues from yesterday's puzzle, and I don't want to waste any time because there were several of these, so I'm going to move through them slightly quickly if I can. So let's get on to it. Adam Ventures 13 reminds me that Nolita, the neighborhood in New York, stands for, or is a contraction of North of Little Italy, and many of those lower New York neighborhoods are, north of this, south of that. So anyway, I should have reverse engineered that one, but Nolita, north of Little Italy. And then there's a fun comment from Michelle McBride, who points out, based on the Wikipedia article, that it apparently has become a bit of a Little Australia. That's the first time I've ever heard of a Little Australia neighborhood in an Anglophone city before. And that is sort of interesting, although there are quite a few. It is very common, I find, to encounter pockets of Australians in cities all over the place, often staffing coffee shops. Australians are extremely, extremely proud of their coffee culture. I'm sure deservedly so. And they do they're also a very sort of well-traveled people, which I suppose makes sense given they have to travel far to go basically anywhere. So they do tend to be all over the place serving coffee, I find anyway. So there must be a lot of them in Nolita these days. All right, Michelle McBride is back to also point out, did I miss this? Octopi is my least favorite of the three plurals of octopus, he says. I must have missed octopi in an answer. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember seeing it. Anyway, octopuses has been an answer in the crossword twice before in the last several years, and octopi 7 times. Octopodes has never been used. If any constructor reading this puts octopodes in a New York Times crossword, you will be my personal hero. There we go. I have to agree with Michelle McBride. Octopi is a sort of inaccurately constructed sort of, what would you call that? Almost a sort of hyper correction where you sort of make a linguistic construction that feels like it should be sort of educated and impressive and correct, but is actually just wrong and not based on anything. That if you were going to go back to the sort of classical roots of the word octopus, you would properly pluralize it octopodes. But also there's no need. You can just say octopuses and that's fine. All right. Let's see. Aaron Learn says, a clue that I think you missed was 20 across. It was plus or minus 1, and the answer was ion for the different electrical charges in an atom based on the number of electrons. Oh, that's a good one, and I did miss that. I don't remember if I read the clue and forgot to come back to it, or if I never read the clue at all. I think I'd never read it at all. Let's see. Aaron Learn also points out a fact about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was referenced in yesterday's grid, is that he is the second all-time NBA point scorer at 38,387. Well, LeBron James passed him last year. Thank you for that. And Brian Spurrier points out that roto, with respect to fantasy sports, comes from one of the first popular forms of American fantasy sports, rotisserie baseball. It was named after La Rotisserie Française, the New York restaurant where a group of journalists would meet for lunch and talk baseball and compare their fictional teams. That's absolutely fascinating. I would have just assumed it would come from some kind of, the idea of rotational sort of tournaments or something, but no, just comes from a restaurant. That's great. Okay, Stephen Giblin gives some further context on Mika Brzezinski, the daughter of Zbigniew Brzezinski, who is National Security Advisor for Jimmy Carter. There we go. That's what I was trying to remember, and I think I incorrectly referred to him as a diplomat or something to that effect, but I was in sort of the right overall discipline. Stephen Giblin explains that running is the track component of track and field, while the field events include throwing competitions like shot put, discus, hammer throw, and javelin, as well as other events like high jump, long jump, pole vault, and triple jump. The ultimate track and field event would be the decathlon that includes both track events and field events. So there we go. That speaks to my lack of comprehensive knowledge about such things. Won't be any big surprise to frequent viewers of this series. And as always, thanks to all of those commenters for their very interesting clarifications and corrections. I always appreciate it, and I'll be back tomorrow with the Thursday edition of the Crossword when our theme, ambition, and complexity may well take a step up, so join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.